Hey guys, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. I hope you're having a really good Sunday. I am here, I am streaming. I didn't think I would be today, purely because of the building work that we've been having done, but we've got much further than I anticipated we would in a much shorter period of time, so here I am. You'll notice a few things a little bit different today. I'm a little bit more cramped in because, and it's hard to show you this, but the office is, well, packed. All of the stock that we didn't want to risk getting injured or damaged or falling over during the construction work is in here, so the whole office is kind of like it's a little bit full, shall we say. And there's no 3D print cams today because the 3D printers happen to be just at the side of me, like they're literally just off camera to the side of me, so no 3D print cam today, I'm afraid. Kodo's got first saying hi, hope the evening is going good. Thank you, man. It's going really well. It's really cold in here again, but hey, I've got the heater on set to 20 degrees, so we should be okay in a minute or two. Anaki's here as well. He says, evening, Jay. I hope you had a day off from moving stuff. Floor went up quicker than I thought it would, but at least you'll have more space for things when things are in place again. Yeah, so I came in all day yesterday for like 5 or 6 hours, and I did loads of work. And my wife made me go home. So she was like, no, you spent too many hours at the workshop this week. You are coming home. So she came, she brought me something to eat, which was like a nice wrap full of like satay chicken and like some really nice bits of lettuce and stuff like that, and some nice sauce and everything. It was really nice. And we actually sat up on the mezzanine and ate it, which was really lovely. Thank you, Couch, so much for the sub. Thank you so much. I hope the sub noise played then. I hope it played. I hope so. But it's incredible. Thank you so much for the sub. But yeah, the floor's in. We've got most of the stock moved up there. There's some little bits to do tomorrow morning, and Mel's going to have to pack from up there for the first couple of days because tomorrow I need to get the cars back inside. So there's 3 cars parked outside that should be underneath the mezzanine that aren't there just yet, and that's my first job in the morning. My second job of tomorrow is to go through everything we're going to put in stock tomorrow night. GMK Shoko extras, Icky 68 Peaches and Cream extras, GMK Maestro desk mats, and a ton of switches, the Matrix TTC switches, and all sorts of other extras that we've just got lying around. We're going to put them in stock tomorrow. So that's going to happen around 7 p.m. tomorrow night. So it's going to be a really busy day tomorrow. But my hope is that by the end of tomorrow, I'll have the workshop cleaned up. Mel will be on with packing all of the orders from last week that we missed. The cars will be back in and underneath the mezzanine, and we'll have all of the new stock listed on the website. That's the hope. That's the end of Monday plan. That's the end of Monday plan. Kodos is here as well. He says, cool. Storsner says a clap. Hugo says, happy Sunday. Impulse says, hello. Hey. Please Pet Dogs, thank you so much for the subscription. Happy with the Mez in general. I'll talk about the Mez in a little bit more detail soon. I'm not quite sure why are the sounds playing? Are the subscription sounds playing? Because it didn't sound like they were. I didn't hear it. Let me know. If they're not, I'll try and fix them later on. The Vintage Kish is here as well. Says, evening, Jay, looking extra swole after all that lifting. Dude, like I've been weighing myself every day. I've lost nearly 1 kilogram this week in weight just from moving around and sweating and lifting stuff. It's kind of nuts. Gio's here as well. Hey Gio. He says, hello lovelies. Hey man, good to see you, dude. Please Pet Dog says hello. Couch with a sub. Andromeda says, yo Jay, yo chat, hope you're all doing well today. Alaric says, Sunday stream day. Indeed it is. Speaking of food, I've left stuff in the oven. Nice, go get it. Derivative looks so nice. Definitely does not look derivative. Dude, this board looks so good. Like, I'm really excited to build this. This might be my 60% of the year. Like, it just might be. Look at that gorgeous grey on red. Oh yeah, the grey on red, the Dolce, yeah. This is my Duck Orion TKL. Yeah, round 3. I do have a round 2 one as well, but this is the round 3 one. Definitely not playing. Right, okay. Golden ratio. Hey man, good to see you. Let's see if we can fix those sounds. I think. I don't know why they're not playing, but let me see if I can. Let me see if I can fix those. I don't know why they're not playing. Like, they're such good sounds as well. Right. Okay. Let me check the alert box here. Right. Okay. Okay. They should be playing. Let's just bump the volume up and let's test one. So let's test a follow. Let's see if this works. Let's see if a follow works. Oh, I think I did hear it there. Where's that? Why is that volume so quiet? Let's try it again. So it is there. It's just playing super duper quiet. Like, can you guys hear those going really loud? Why is that so quiet? Let me see if I can do something else here. Let me just pause the music a sec because I don't want to burst your eardrums, guys. Let me try this. Whoa, that might have burst your eardrums anyway. Let me try now. Let me try now. Incredible. Okay, so I think now. Incredible. You should be hearing the follows, right? You should be hearing that. Okay. So I think we fixed it. I think. Let's put the music back on. Okay. Now you guys can't hear the music at all, I bet. Incredible. There we go. The Incredible's working. Right, okay, that one's working. Let's Okay. I'm slightly worrying why the desktop audio is not playing the music now. Okay, I think we've got it there. I think we've got it. Right, let's do one last. There we go. Okay, so now we can hear the Incredibles. Let me fix the subs as well. Okay, I think I know why this is not working now. Okay. Incredible. There we go. Everyone following again just to get the sound up. There we go. Thanks, guys. I don't know why that changed. Like, I've literally not changed any settings, but it looks like that's just changed all of my settings. How bizarre. How bizarre. That is like the weirdest thing. Okay, they should be fixed now. They should be fixed. Right, let's hope that they're fixed. Right, let's go back to very quiet here. I think yeah, they should be here. It's just super directional. Yeah, I don't know why they went so quiet. It's so weird. Demotex, hey man, good to see you. Tanish, hey, well, heard it then. Can hear it, but it's still quiet, not super loud. It should be fixed now. Coffee check? Yeah, so today we're drinking whatever coffee was in the machine because I have no idea what it is. The issue is the coffee machine's been untouchable for about 4 days because of stuff in front of it, but now we can get back to it. Not super loud, but louder than before. You should be able to hear them now. Let me do a test subscription. Tasty, tasty. Could you hear that? Tasty, tasty. Did you hear that? Tasty, tasty. Like, I can hear that now loud and clear, so you guys should be able to hear that. Tell me if you can't. Please tell me if you can't hear it. Like, loud and clear. Good now. Yeah, okay, cool. Perfect. We fixed them. We fixed them. Excellent. It's working. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Okay, so, yeah, the question was around the mezzanine. And I think I missed Lex's sub as well, so thank you very much, Lex. Mina says, where's my order? Oh, my God. Oh, just kidding. Like, I thought someone was complaining. Like, I don't know. I can't tell you. Not over the stream. Please Pet Dog says, happy with the mezzanine in general. Yeah, like, for those that you haven't been following, the mezzanine has been like a huge new floor that we've installed in the workshop. So just behind me in the workshop, we now have a secondary floor. It's added a ton of floor space, and it means that we can put all of our stock up there, and then I can have the cars nice and neatly arranged underneath, or at least some of them. I'm hoping to fit 4, but we can definitely fit 3. We'll see how it goes. It's 4 with no space and really tight, or it's 3 and able to get in and out of each of them. I haven't decided which is best yet, but we'll see. And then we've still got loads of floor space for deliveries and stock for packing and all of that kind of stuff. And we've just ordered some new workbenches as well, which are on casters that we can move around, that Mel will use as packing tables and I'll use as cutting tables and all sorts of other stuff, as well as one of them being able to store flat all of the new laser cutting hardware and stuff. Like all of the new materials we're going to cut on the laser cutter, we need somewhere nice and flat to store them, so these new workbenches will offer all of that for us, which is great, and they'll be here in a couple of weeks time. But the new mezzanine itself, it's really good. There's a couple of small niggles and things left to do. There's one rattle when we hit a certain step on our way up or down, so that needs to be fixed, which I'll fix tomorrow. There's some little kickboards that need to go all around the front edges, which I'll fix tomorrow. And then At some point this week, I'm gonna do, or in the next couple of weeks, I'm gonna do a stream in the workshop where we'll make a sign for the front of the mezzanine with the Prototypist logo on the laser cutter, which will be a nice, cool stream, and then it'll be done. Most of the stock's up there. 90% of the stock's up there at the moment. There's probably 10% we need to move up first thing in the morning. And then Mel will crack on with packing while I get the cars in, because they're all sat outside and it's snowing, and I really don't like my classic cars outside in the snow, so I'm really been cringing all weekend about it. But we'll get there. So tomorrow is the day of where we'll get to. Hopefully. Love this vibe of your stream, and love how you always look so happy and passionate about what you do, dude. Like, keyboard's my hobby, right? This is my hobby. I'm living the dream. Well, I would say it was work, but like, you get paid for work. I don't get paid, but I get to play with the things that I love and the stuff that I love. Incredible. Thank you so much, Ozzy, for the follow. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Just got here, but that second floor is too cool. Thank you, Justin. Justin is the designer, JJWKB. Justin, he's a designer of the board that we're going to build today, which I'm going to show you guys in a few minutes. So thank you very much for that. I hope you guys have been following along on Insta. It's been a wild ride this week. Like, it's been physically, it's the hardest I've ever worked in my life.
Tasty.
Lala says, any news on TX stabs? I'm waiting to get the order in. It'll be after Chinese New Year. I don't have any specific dates, but it shouldn't be too far away. So physically, it's been a real workout. One of the beams is like weighs over a ton, and we had to lift that 8 feet in the air and put it onto the stands and things like that. And I've never done this type of construction work before, so the fact that we got the mezzanine built and usable in 2 days was just unbelievable. Like, the first day we got all of the steel work in, the second day we got all of the floor laid, and then the third day we started moving stock up onto there. It's kind of nuts, and it's blown me away. I expected us to still be at it tomorrow, building it and putting it together. Now, I can't say I did it all myself. I didn't. I'm very inexperienced when it comes to building like this. I'm very experienced when it comes to DIY, but not so much building steel framed buildings effectively, which is what we've done. So luckily, the gentleman next door called Lewis, he works for an auto electricians company. He put in the mezzanine that they've got next door, so he knew what he was doing. He's very experienced with that kind of thing. He can drive a forklift truck better than I can, even though we're both qualified. He can drive it a little bit better than me. So we did all of that with him and a couple of the guys that work for him over the past couple of days. And I have to be honest with you, it just went so quick. Like, we started off in the morning measuring on the floor where we needed to put the pillars, the uprights. And then from there we started to use we had to raw bolt them into the floor, which is fine. I've done those before. Wasn't too much of an issue. We realized we'd measured things slightly wrong and the plans weren't quite right, so we had to adjust things a little bit on the fly, but that all went well. When we had to use a forklift to lift the major steel beams in, and we had to turn them round and work out, like, the longest beam is 10 meters long. It's 10 meters long. That's a huge length, and we had to dangle it on a forklift truck, raise it up, and then pivot it into position to bolt it in. But now it's done. It looks so good. I'm super happy with it, and it's like been a huge experience that I've been really happy to be proud of. So yeah, it's been really good fun. And Matemk, thank you very much for being here. Hello to you too. Minna says it never snows in London. I've been in London when it's snowed before, so don't say that. It does. Alaric says, are you going to be selling Crytox 205 Grade 0 this year? Probably not. Like, there's so many people selling lube these days that I feel like me selling it as well just doesn't add anything to that market. We will at some point in the next 6 months or so be giving away free lube again with switches, but I don't want to promise and say it's going to be next week when it's not, or in like a month and it's not. But at some point we'll bring back that whole free lube when you buy a bag of switches. It just depends on when we find the time and the downtime to actually load all the lube into things for, like, to give it away. It's got to be when we're really quiet, and that's not going to be for at least a month or so. Just Johnny, he's here. He says, good evening, Jay. Hey man, good to see you, dude. How long do you think you run out of space even with the mezzanine, considering all of the amazing group buys that you're running? So theoretically, we shouldn't run out of space for the next 12 months. Even if we double what we've done in the last 12 months, in the next 12 months, which I'm hoping we will, we shouldn't run out of space because we've freed up so much. The real answer is maybe. I don't know. Like, we shouldn't in theory, but it really depends on how things go and how much stuff you buy, because if you don't buy the stock, I've got to store it, right? So you guys have to buy it. That's the trick. But no, all jokes aside, it should be fine. Like, we shouldn't need any more space now for quite a while. We do have another lockup unit as well, that's just about a mile's drive from here, which we're going to use for deep storage of stuff that we just can't ship yet. For example, loads of desk mats arrive months before the key sets do. Those ones, they're currently literally above me right now. Those are all going to go and move away and be put into this other storage unit that we've got. And we'll just go and get stuff as we need it rather than just keep it here. And there's a potential opportunity for us to rent the next door unit on the other side. So those guys on that side,
tasty.
thank you so much for the subscription, man. I appreciate that. So those guys on that side helped me build the mezzanine. The guys on that side are moving out in about 3 months' time, so there's a chance we might even take over that unit as well, and then split across two. We'll see how that goes, but we should be good. We should be good. Fingers crossed that it works out. It should be fine. Yeah. It snowed in London a bit last year, not nearly as much this year though. We'll usually it's around February when we get snow, so we'll see how that goes. Oh yeah, that's Ravius. That's wrong. That's not updated. Whoops. I'm actually using a Duck Orion TKL, which you can see just here. This is my Duck Orion TKL with OG Dolch. So there you go. But thank you very much for the subscription, RD. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. So yeah, so plan for tomorrow is Mel's going to pack all the orders from the sale we did last week. I'm going to get the cars in, the classic cars I've collected. I'm going to get them in and underneath the mezzanine. I'm going to finish off some little jobs on the mezzanine, buzz a couple of bolts up tighter, put the little trunking across the front. I'm going to get all of the new stock that we've got live. GMK Shoko extras are going live 7 PM tomorrow night. Peaches and Cream Icky 68 extras live tomorrow night at 7 PM on the Prototypist store, plus about 100 other different products, so watch out for that. Loads of Canon Keys cap sets are going in stock. So there's the Canon Caps beige,
incredible.
Thank you very much for the follow, man. That is incredible. We've got Canon Caps beige, the black on grey, some other colorways as well. We've got Fuji coming soon in Canon Caps. Most of these are going to go in stock tomorrow. There's going to be a ton of stuff in stock tomorrow. I'll put a full list up on Discord tomorrow morning so you guys can see exactly what's going to be in stock. And then I'll make sure it's all live from 7 PM, and then you guys can buy it as and when you want from 7 PM tomorrow night. It's good. So there we go. Next board I build is definitely going to be an ISO layout. I missed the big ends key. Today we're building in ANSI. So Justin, if you're still here, I love you, man. But let's get some ISO support on the derivative. Might be quite cool. In fact, actually, we'll have a look at the PCB and see if the PCB supports it, because if it does, I'll see if I can work with Justin to get some ISO plates made up. We'll see how that goes. Can't wait to buy everything. Yeah, well, it's all going to be in stock tomorrow. We're going to have a huge restock tomorrow. We're also going to introduce the mystery desk mats this week as well. It might not be tomorrow. It might be later on in the week. But we're going to introduce mystery desk mats. It's 20 quid and you get a random mystery desk mat. Any desk mat we could have ever have sold, you might get in that box. So it'd be random mystery desk mats. We'll see how those go as well. I like it when lots of items go into stock at the same time. It gives me a better chance of getting what I want. Yeah, I prefer to do it in big drops rather than in chunks. Like putting 1 or 2 items in stock is, I mean, it's easier, right? From my perspective, it's easier, but I like to save it up until we've got a big chunk, and then we put a load of stuff in stock. And then people can like buy like 10 things and save on shipping. They can get everything shipped at once, and they don't have to buy like 10 lots of shipping. So yeah. You'd buy UK Shoko if it had UK ISO. Yeah, I get that. But it's a really nice set of Shoko. It's lovely. In fact, I have the round 1 set here. This is going to be one of the options later on today. So, round 1 GMK Shoko. It's such a cute set. It's a really, really nice set. That's how I end up spending all my disposable income. I need self-control. Don't spend money you don't have, though, guys. Like, if you don't have the money, or it needs to go on other things like rent or food, buy that first. Yeah, buy round 2.
Incredible.
Thank you so much. That is incredible for the follow. Thank you very much, man. So Adam, here what you need to do is buy round 2 and then ask someone in the US with round 1 to give you the UK keys. Sounds like a good plan. But yeah, I try and put as many items in stock at the same time as possible so you guys get better value for money, because the rates I have with DHL, it's flat rate, so you can buy 1 kilogram or 5 kilograms of stuff and it's going to cost the same to ship it. So I'd rather do big drops and people can buy 10 things and pack them and ship them all at once than buy one thing and pay £7 shipping and then buy another thing and pay £7 shipping and so on and so forth. It's just much better this way. So there we go. Right, let's move over to the build stream today because I do want to show you this board. This is something special. This might be my favorite 60 of 2022, and I know it's only a couple of weeks into 2022, but that's how nice this board is. Like, seriously, this is a really nice board. So let me show you the board. So it comes in this nice box. It does have Justin's logo on the side, JJWKB, which is really nice. I did buy an extra PCB with this, so I have 2 PCBs. These are from McLovin. And I'm just looking, and there's no ISO support on these PCBs. So if we did want to use a PCB, I think we'd have to use a different one. That may be something I'll have a chat with Justin around. Here's the second PCB. Looks nice. Looks pretty good. Here's the mounting. So this is an O-ring mount. Now I do have loads of different durometer O-rings which should be the same size as this. So if we don't like the typing feel on this one, maybe we'll check those out towards the end of the stream. We've got some nice little rubber bump-ons and plenty of extra screws. This is one of the 2 plates. This is the full plate. I do have a half plate as well. I hope if I held it round the right way. ANSI only, very limited on the options, 7U wing keyless bottom row, and kind of almost a leaf springy mount on the plate here. Not quite a leaf spring, but some nice flex cuts either way around the mounting tabs. So we'll see how that pans out. And then the board itself comes inside here. Okay, catch up with chat. Considering making an OnlyFans for typing and hand picks and call it Only Hands to pay for my keyboard stuff. I feel you, man. I feel you. I feel you. I love how the derivative looks even when I haven't built it yet. Dude, like, I'm so chuffed with this board. I'm so lucky that I was able to get one. But look at this. Look how nice this looks. This is the derivative 60. Look at this front edge.
Tasty, tasty.
Thank you, FNX, for that subscription. That is very tasty. Look how tasty this edge is as well. Look how thick it is here, this Cherry MX front lip. Look how thin it gets in the middle, and then we get thicker as it comes round. Super cool. Half plate's installed. You can see the inside of the weight. It also says derivative 60 here, changes the only constant, which is a nice little phrase. I do like that. And there is, as you'll see in a little while, a little serial number under here as well. Cable slot, weight, badge. Flipping it over, you can see the shiny of the badge. This kind of, I'm going to call this Kekal inspired rear end. Then the derivative name here, which I think is milled in, yeah, milled in. And then round 0, because this is the prototype, it does say round 0 there. Spots for the bump-ons and a few screws. There's the rear USB-C port, which is on a daughter board. So there we go. Look at that side profile. Look how nice that looks. It's flush edge with this curve. This is the derivative round 0, and I'm super happy to be one of the few owners of these. Okay, let's take the board apart and see what we've got on the inside. What number did I get? I'll show you in just 1 second. I think. Is it heavy? It's pretty chunky for the size of it, but it's not overly heavy. Let's we'll wait towards the end of the stream when it's built, and I'll show you guys what the weight is like. Hey, Unusual, thanks for being here, man. But yeah, we'll wait towards the end of the stream. Remind me towards the end of the stream, Mayhem, and we'll wait for you. Just undoing the screws here. These are all hex screws. Nice and simple. Good quality screws, it feels as well. So, Barton, in terms of leaf spring, this isn't quite what I'd call a leaf spring. But the cuts here on the plate, you can see this cut. So this is the mounting point here, and you see this cut that comes along, comes back on itself, comes around. This means that this piece and this piece flex independently of each other, so you can like have some movement that's different between the two. Now it's not a true leaf spring, because a leaf spring has to come back on itself in some way to make sure there's two different parts. But it basically refers back to how old cars used to use leaf spring suspensions. On the rear, you'd see one long big bar of metal that compressed or expanded depending on the weight of the rear of the car and how it was going over bumps before we had springs. It's kind of the same idea here, and what it means is it allows there to be more flexibility and movement up and down in the vertical sense on the keyboard. So as you're typing on here, if you had your board turned this way, if you're typing on here, it can move like that, but in reality it's like that, just because of how the plate has got flex cuts cut into it. Now this isn't quite a leaf spring, because it would have to be detached and come back on itself to be able to do that, but it's a pretty good way of making sure it's a softer typing experience.
Incredible.
Two cuts that have counteracting forces. That's a really good way of putting it. Unusual, yeah, it's a really good way of putting it. Incredible. Thank you, Kruger, for the follow. I really appreciate that, man. The colour of this board is lovely, right? Did you miss the workshop news updates? Yeah, we talked a little bit about the workshop and how that's going to pan out tomorrow. Check back on the Insta stories tomorrow if you want to see more, because I've got a lot to do. You said you took an L on the derivative. Dude, this has to be one of the nicer 60s. I forgot I'd undone the screws. Whoops. Good job we've got spares, right? Let me move the screws to one side. I forgot that I'd undone all the screws. There we go. But it's such a cool board. Okay, and here you can see I've got number 7 of 24, and then Justin's little logo just up here as well. Those are milled in, and it just looks incredible. Like, just these little details designed by JJW. Like, I just love it. It's so nice. It's so nice. Definitely some elements I want to copy for future Jae Builds. I also like this step design here on the weight. Now I'm going to take the weight out just because I want to talk about this a little bit more. A slightly larger screwdriver. I want to show you this weight up close, and I want to show you something that's pretty cool about it that I like. So one of the big things that I've done on the J series of boards is introduce acoustic cavities, and you might have seen something similar on the Allison, which is running next weekend, like less than a week to Allison. If you want an Allison, get ready to buy it because it's not far away. But this weight has some cool things attributed to it. You can see here it's got these little lines. These are actually steps. So it actually steps down each one until it gets to the middle at the bottom, and then it steps back up. So there's actually like a curve on the inside of this made up of different layered steps. It's really difficult to show you, but it's there. Fluff. So it kind of steps down, and I think that's going to have a really nice impact on sound. So the easiest way to see this is if you look here, you can kind of see that the line here on the edge of this middle part is thicker towards the middle, and that's because these step down. It must be a fraction of a millimeter each. It must be like 0.1 millimeter each step, or maybe 0.2. But it does step down into the middle. It's really, really cool. Very, very nice weight design. Yeah, we're going to gummy O-ring this build today. I don't think we're going to top mount it, but it does support top mount O-ring and the relief, as he puts it, top mount. The stepped internal weight was a reference to calculate the area of the curve. Got you. I didn't know that, but yeah, I can kind of see it now. But I think that's going to have an interesting impact on sound, Justin. Let's see. Math nerdery, it's awesome. Like it's interesting because when we were calculating the depth of the acoustic cavity on the J series boards, it's actually based on phi, which is the golden ratio, and most people missed it because we never talked about it, but it is based on that. And if you go back to ancient classical mathematics, they used to use this number, this phi number, quite a lot. I think it pops up in Nature. Incredible. Thank you so much, Sidnaz, for the follow. It pops up in Nature so often. I could talk about nerdy math stuff all night long, so we won't do that. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, cool. Board is stacked in math nerdery. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Right. Here's how you can see it's top mount. So you can see it's got multiple top mount parts. If the camera focused. So you can see how it's mounted in lots of different places. We're not going to use those today because we are going to go for the gummy O-ring mount, but it's pretty cool. I'm going to guess that this is part of the Fibonacci curve then, Justin? This is like one of the parts of the Fibonacci curve. I'm going to guess that's what that is. That's like part of the Fibonacci sequence. Just looking at it, it looks like the tail of the Fibonacci sequence. But tell me if I'm wrong. Please tell me if I'm wrong. Okay, let's take these screws out because we're not going to use this mounting method. All these builds that you do, are they customer builds or just for fun? I usually state in the title if they're customer builds. 90% of the builds on this channel are my personal ones. This is a personal board. I just realised I didn't get switches out. I'll have to go grab those in a second. Just proportioned it until it looks about right. Okay, I imagine if you overlaid it on top of the Fibonacci curve, it's probably pretty close. It's probably pretty close. My only complaint is the lack of ISO. That's literally the only downside to this board so far. Possibly until it looks right, it's coinciding. I reckon if you check it, it's probably really close. I think it'll be really, really close. What's my favourite switch? Like, that's such a difficult question. My favourite switch of all time is probably Brown Alps SKCM. If you mean an MX switch, I don't know, like probably a linear. I really like Lavenders, which is what we're going to use today. And I've just realised I haven't got them out. They're in the drawer over there, so I'm going to go get them in a second. Oh, one more screw left. Been tactile for years, MX Brown, new to the keyboard hobby, but tempted to try some linears like creams. There's lots of good.
Incredible.
Auto, thank you very, very much for the incredible follow. I really appreciate that. Yeah, there's loads of good switches out there, dude. Loads of good switches you can try. Okay, and this is the half plate. This is the plate we're going to use today. We are going to build it ANSI, and we are going to go for the gummy O-ring mount for this, because I think that's going to be the best mount for this board. But we'll try it out, and we'll see. So there we go. Does mean we have to build it ANSI, though. Justin, let's talk about ISO at some point. But yeah, this board just looks so good. Look at that colour. It's very, very similar to my Heine TKL1, actually. Let me see if I can grab. This is the Heine TKL1 numpad. Look how close these colours are. It's very, very close. It's a shade darker, maybe. But it's pretty close. Okay, gonna just pop the bump-ons on the base of this. Rabius, that keyboard thing's wrong. I'm really sorry, I haven't updated it. If Omar's watching, he'll update it for me. Omar, where are you, man? You're always around. If looking at plates in terms of FR4 and carbon fiber, they're not the same thing, no. Aluminium, brass, polycarb. How do you decide as a complete novice? I think you need to just listen to some sound tests and see what you'd normally like. I would recommend going to meetups, but there's no meetups happening in the UK at the moment, although we are planning another one in MK UK. That's Mechanical Keyboards UK. There will be one at some point soon. And we are going to do a PT Open Day. Prototypist Open Day is coming. It's going to be probably early March, so about a month away. And it's going to be on a Sunday. And Prototypist is basically going to be open for people to come and try my boards, buy some stuff in stock in person if you want, and we'll have some cool giveaways. We'll give away some shirts, we'll give away some keyboards, we'll give away all sorts of stuff. So yeah, I think that's going to be happening at some point in early March. I'll be able to have space for about 30 people here, I think, which would be quite fun. So perhaps look out for something like that. Five Inks, hey man, good to see you. Right, I'm going to grab the switches for this build because we're just about time to put the switches in there. I'm going to grab those. Okay, I'm going to bob the full plate and one of the PCBs to one side. These guys, both PCBs come with those boards, which is great news. Whereabouts are we? We're based in Bradford, West Yorkshire. You can Google us and you will find the address in Google. Just Google prototype. Oh no. So we have an issue with the first PCB I've opened. The JST's pulling off. Let's see if we can just pop this back down and then test it and see if it works. It should, no, it's come completely off. Okay, so that one's got damage in shipping, come completely off. I can probably fix it, but we'll try the other PCB. Okay, it's lifted, no pads. That's the good news. It just needs reflowing. But yeah, the JST cables come off in shipping at somehow. Rip. Rip. Oh well. We'll use the other one. At least we have two for this build. We can fix that one later though. We don't have a storefront as such, but we do have a workshop warehouse, which is where I am right now. 2,200 square feet, plus a new mezzanine, a new floor we've installed. If you follow us on... it's not... it'll be fine. I'll just resolder on that at some point. In fact, I can see here it's just taken a bit of beating. Look, there's a little tear in the bag, just where that happens to be. Don't worry about it. We'll sort it out later. It's not a big issue. We have another PCB. This one looks good. Sag, I know we were unlucky with the what was the TKL we built a couple of weeks? The Dolphin, the Lynn Dolphin TKL a couple of weeks ago. We were unlucky with that as well. Okay, this one looks good. Let's just unplug it for now. Make sure we don't catch it. There we go. This one looks better. Yeah, it looks like it's been caught because the bag was ripped, just where the JST connector would have been on the other side. So, yeah, we can fix that later, Justin. Don't worry about it. There we go. All looking good. So it supports ANSI only, but we can do split right shift if we want to. It's pretty clean PCB. Single flex cut across the middle. Details on the rear about Lavenders Studio, the J60. Hey, J60. Rev 1 60% PCB, powered by QMK and VIA. There we go, that's pretty cool. And one of the coolest things that I really like to see is all of the switch positions are labelled on the rear as well, so you know exactly what switch you're soldering at any given time, which is pretty nice. Too many PCBs don't do that these days. Okay, let's get some stabilizers. I don't have a fan on today, no. Is there some background noise? Hold on, let's pause the music, let's see. Can you hear anything? It's dead silent in this room, man. Sorry if you can hear something. It might be just my terrible breathing. Because I am a little bit stuffy. Like all the sawdust from the new floor we installed. Yeah, it's not been pretty. Going insane. Cool. At least we know now. At least we have confidence in that. 1.2 millimeters. This is a 1.6 millimeter PCB, I think. 1.2 millimeter PCBs are pretty rare. I'd be very surprised if that was 1.2. It's pretty firm. Can I have those cubes when they carry you away? No, I get them. I get them. Darth J. Absolutely. Posture check, thank you. Crockerboy, thank you very much for being here, man. Hey to you too. These are the stabs we're using today. Owl Labs stabs. This is 100% packing it. We won't need them all. But we are using the 7U bars today. So let's select these now. So we need a 2U for backspace. We need a 7U for spacebar. We need a 2U for the enter. We're going to go split right shift, which some of you may recoil in horror at, but that's what we're going to do. And then we need one for the left shift. So let's get the bits of this. The derivative is lovely. Owl Labs are probably my favorite right now. I think Stabies are pretty solid too. I think with the Stabies we probably need to wait for the next round. TX stabs were okay for me, but there weren't anything revelationary. I think the wires are definitely better in the Owl Lab stabs. I will be stocking TX stabs at some point, but for me personally, I don't think anything comes past the Owl Lab stabs right now. Just in terms of value and overall proposition, I think Owl stabs are where I want to be. Oops. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3. Just need one more set of inserts and housings, and then we've got all the stabilizers together. Split backspace and split right shift is the best. I don't like split backspace. I'm a bit of a heathen like that. I prefer just normal backspace. Right, wait, what have we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4 stabilizers. There we go. That's all we need. I don't split back either. Yeah. But now I've seen the light. I mentioned it earlier, but just in case you missed, stab cutouts are quite tight, so it'll take some force to get them through, unfortunately. Fix the dimensions for the future. Thanks, Justin. I did miss that earlier on, but thank you for letting me know. Thank you. Wrist check. You want to know what my watch is? It's a Breitling Top Time. It's a Deus Ex Machina model. So there you go. You fix it in the future. Plate is force split right shift. Oh, does the wait. Plate is forced split right shift. Yes, that's why we're going. Well, that's part of the reason why we're going split right shift. But so you can see here we couldn't put a stabilizer here, but I wouldn't have built it that way anyway. So we're good. We're good. Okay, let's put these together and get them lubed up. I love that rounded rectangular subfaces.
Incredible.
Donut, thank you so much for the follow, man. I appreciate that. You've been really into half plate builds lately? Nice. I've always kind of liked a half plate. As I say, my literal only, and this is really minor because I'm such a minority user of ISO that it's unbelievable, but my only minor concern is I can't use ISO in this build. And I know that that's a designer-led decision often, so I never judge for it, but honestly, this board is just such a good-looking board. Like, my favourite design feature I've seen on any board in the past 6 months is this interpretation of the Cherry MX front lip, how it gets thicker at one end and curves in nicely. I'd love to know what the math behind, I'd love to know what the actual formula for that curve is, because that is really, really nice. It's just super nice. Just super duper nice. There we go. Cloudline derivative are just beautiful boards. Have a look at momentum as well. Like, I'm becoming a bit of a Justin fanboy at the minute. It's not just Cloudline or just derivative. Momentum as well. I wish I'd bought that. I do wish I'd bought it, but I didn't because I was silly. Oh well. Right, let's get these lubed up and get them in the board. Wayward Fox says, "Hi Jay, I received a Keybook Nano Slider. At least it wasn't from me. Good news." It's not a customer complaint. I can relax. A beautiful bit of kit, but I was unaware it needed programming flashing by me. I've never done this, and I've only used Via for programming boards in the past. I've been procrastinating, ever starting, so any advice would be really appreciated. Okay, so I haven't flashed one of those directly, but I believe it's QMK compatible, right? If it is, you should just be able to go onto the QMK configurator, which you can get to from the QMK homepage, select the Nano Slider from the drop down, and then you can kind of use like a Via-esque system to select what you want on each key. You then need to use a program called QMK Toolbox to flash it, but there are full guides out there on how to use it. If you ever get stuck at any point, join the QMK Discord server, because the guys over there, Drashner and everyone over there, they're super knowledgeable, and they will be able to help you out no end. Anything you need. Come on, in you go. Oh, we've gone in the wrong hole. Wahee! In the wrong hole. There we go. Sold it in seconds, tried my best but failed. We will have some extras of the Cloudline, we always have extras. But yeah, Cloudline sold pretty quick. In fact, it sold really quick. Super happy with that. I think me and the wife were actually out walking the dog when it went live, I think. And I remember just like looking, they were just gone.
Incredible.
Hey CD, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate that, man. I cannot recall how much I paid for this keyboard. If Justin's around and he has the price, I'm more than happy for him to share what was in my invoice. If not, I can look it up towards the end of the stream if you remind me, Kudos. We're just leaving the stabs up here, guys. Remember, it's always easier to add more lube later on than it is to take it away, so don't add too much. I can't remember the exact price. I don't really keep track of how much I spend on keyboards, so I can't tell you, but I can have a look at my invoice in a little bit. If Justin's there and he has that number to share, I'm more than happy for him to share exactly what it cost me. If he doesn't, I'll check later on. The Martian View desk mat sold out really quickly. I haven't really checked stock as such since the sale, to be honest with you. I know there's a load of stuff on the website that's marked out of stock that I need to take off. That's a tomorrow job. But yeah, the Martian View desk mats are awesome. They're one of my favourite mats of last year. In fact, the designer Felipe, he's actually got a new desk mat coming out pretty soon. So keep an eye out for that, because these next ones are just as good. Which reminds me, I think I need to reply to a message from him. So yeah, so definitely keep an eye out for those, because I was super happy with these. My favourite one is the Martian View, but I think the Starry View as well was super, super nice. I'm not sure if all variants are sold out or if it's just the Martian View ones, but yeah, I was super happy with them. How much have you spent on keyboards? Yes. So I actually worked out a rough number, how much I've spent on keyboards over the past 7 or 8 years on a personal level, not in terms of prototypers, but on a personal level. And I think it's somewhere in the region of £100,000, which is a lot of money, and it's way more than I should have spent. Now, some of those items I have sold, I don't have anymore, but I think it's somewhere in that broad region that I've spent. But that's the closest I can get to a real number. Okay, last stabilizer wire. Got a preference for which Milmax sockets I should pick up for that Satisfaction 75 build? All the answer to I don't know how much I spend on keyboards. Come on, man, we know it's too much. It's never too much. If you're comfortable with it and you're happy with it, it's never too much. Milmax sockets, I think the best ones to go through for are the ones that are the lowest profile. I think that's the 7305s. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Those are usually the best ones to go for. Whichever's the lowest profile one. The one that doesn't stick out too much from the top or the bottom of the PCB. I don't really use Milmax very often. I think it's 7305s. Having an option for the original detailed weight would be lovely too, but that's probably not practical or affordable. Yeah.
Incredible.
Thank you very much, Diego, for the follow. I appreciate that. I'm just waiting for the tasty now. That's my favourite one. This one was pricey because of Loma Q and the weight. It was $600 approximately. When I bring this back, I may simplify the weight to one piece and target the $400 price range. Yeah, it makes sense, mate. It makes sense. If you ever need a UK vendor, Justin, you know where I am. 3305s. Yeah, okay. Right, okay. I couldn't remember which way it was. Yeah, they are more expensive, but the lower profile ones are better. Okay, so now we've lubed up the wires. We're just going to put a small amount of lube just on the sides of the sliders just to make them move nicely. And then once we've done that, I'm just going to put a small blob of lube in the rear of the housing just to make sure that we're coating the wire nicely as well. That's one done. Move on to the next. 3305s are specifically made for keyboards. Yeah, that's part of the reason why they're expensive. I couldn't remember which way around it was. Any lubers in the UK? Yeah, I use Matt the Pokemon Kid. He may be watching right now. He does sometimes. He may not as well. But Matt the Pokemon Kid, if you're in MK UK, he's the guy that lubes all my switches because I just don't have time to even lube my own switches these days. In fact, the lavenders that we're going to use today, he lubed those for me. What is the red board on my desk? It's a Duck Orion TKL with GMK Dolch. OG Dolch as well. In UK ISO layout. Can't wait for my Lavenders to arrive. Order them and some desk mats during your sale. Thanks, man. We're going to start packing those orders up tomorrow. We're hoping we ship them all out by Thursday, but there was a lot of orders. So please bear with us. It may take us a little bit of time to get all of those orders out. I think it was close to 600 orders in total. Yeah, there isn't any money in lubing switches. Like, people say, oh, I'm going to lube switches to earn some pocket money. Like, you spend so much time lubing switches that it's just not profitable at all. But some people enjoy the relaxation of it. And Matt, who lubes my switches, does a great job every time. Like, he's super consistent. I think I do slightly prefer my personal lubed switches just because it's the way I've lubed them, but I just don't have the time to invest in lubing switches these days. So I let Matt lube them for me. I pay him well for his time, and it works for both of us. So yeah, there we go. Okay, that's all of those stabilizers lubed.
Incredible.
Thank you, Hamzy, for the follow. I appreciate that, man. Let's get these in the board. I think he did say that these were quite tight, so let's see how tight these are. Oh man, this is really really tight. Okay, I see. I just need to take it quite steady here. I'm not going to put the shims on just because of how tight it is. It's just at the Pokemon Kid, if you're in MK UK. Normally I put these in, which I've been using quite a lot recently. I'm not today just because of how tight these are. So we're just going to pop the stabilizers straight in. So we're just going to take a little washer, put it over the screw, and then pop the screw in to the board. You have the silver one with GMK Godspeed, the silver Orion. Nice. Orions are a really nice board. Okay, let's see if we can get this first stabilizer in place. Okay, that's one in. Ordered my first switches from your website, Gettinks back from Super V2. Super excited to receive them. Greetings from Germany. Hey man, thanks very much for being here. Hopefully we'll get your order out soon. We've just installed a whole new mezzanine floor at the workshop, so we're a little bit behind on orders, but we should be start shipping tomorrow. It might take us a few days to catch up, but hopefully all orders will be out by the end of the week that are outstanding. So please just bear with us. That's why we have a big red sign at the top of the website at the minute. Give us some time. Did I pick up a Freebird TKL for myself? No, I didn't at the minute, but we did buy a load of extras, so I'll probably use one of the extras. Oh yeah, recommend clip in or filing down the stab. Yeah, okay, we'll have a look at filing down the stabilizer in a second. Wait, we've just lost this stabilizer. Yeah, I forgot about the O-ring issue with stabilizers. I don't have any clip-ins. We don't really use them too much anymore on streams. I think we're going to have to hold these stabilizers as we get each screw in though. There we go, that's one side in. But we can file it down. Yeah, I saw the message, Futureban. Thank you. This is one of the Martian View desk mats. This is it's actually called the Martian View. There is other versions of it out there as well. Blackout View, Starry View, a few other different names. Whiteout View. Oops. Yeah, the red and on the Orion's pretty nice. Yeah. Plan to experiment with O-ring cutout for full backspace users in a future project. Nice. Yeah, this is about 5% of my Kipura collection. Just going to install the spacers that sit underneath these stabilizers as we go as well. These are basically like rubber bungs just to stop any rattle. We're just going to install these as we go. Whoops. Oh, it would do if they would stay under. I'm just trying to get this one to stay under. There's a push one side and it's just popping out the other side. Whoops. There we go. Okay, next stabilizer, we're going to put in the right shift. And for those of you wondering about the issue that Justin mentioned a few minutes ago with the wires, with the stabilizers and the O-ring, I will show you what that means in just a moment. We'll get the stabilizers in, then we'll have a look at it. We'll probably need to do the same for the spacebar as well, I would assume, Justin. We can file it down coming from the person who took clippers to a PCB. Hey man, it worked, right? It worked. That was because it was a prototype PCB though. That had never been in that board before. Top 5 switches? Oh man, I couldn't do a top 5 switches. I'd never be able to stick with that 5 list. It would change every single week. Oh, we might be okay on these actually. We might be okay on the stabilizer because it fits the opposite way around. It's a north-facing stabilizer for the spacebar, so we might be okay. We'll see. The red cube on the left is a Duck Orion V3. I also have a V2 in a different colour, and it's wearing GMK Dolch. It's the OG Dolch off of an OG keyboard. So it's Cherry Dolch rather than GMK Dolch, although it uses the same molds that GMK used today. Yeah, nothing wrong with filing.
Incredible.
Flyers Dodo, thank you so much for the follow, man. Hope you're enjoying the nice chill stream today. I just build what might be my 60% of 2022 already.
Incredible.
Kenny, thank you so much for the follow as well, man. That is incredible. Thank you so much. Okay. Just going to put these little spacers in again for the wire. I'm going to put 2 in for the space bar.
Incredible.
Thank you so much for Tuna Mango for the follow. What a great username that is, Tuna Mango. Okay, there you can go. You can see we've got all of our stabilizers in, including these little rubber bungs that just prop up the wires, stop any rattle. A nice little addition to any board. Okay, so the issue with O-rings on stabilizers sometimes is that the stabilizer overhangs the edge of the board, and that can cause issues with the O-rings, and it can move the O-ring and try and push the O-ring out. So what we're going to try and do is we're just going to try and take some clippers and just make sure that everything sits flush on the rear. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clip the little O-rings we've put around the screws and just make sure that they sit flush with the edge of the PCB. That's dead easy. Nice little clip. And I'm going to do the same on the spacebar stabilizer as well.
Tasty, tasty.
Tasty, tasty. Kijin, thank you so much for the raid. Party of 3. Welcome, guys. Today we're building a derivative round 0. This is a 60% from Justin. Stabilizers, we should be okay here for the O-rings without using clip-ins, but I'm just going to trim the rear of these backspace ones, although they look pretty flush. Do you know what? It looks pretty flush down here. If you look down here, it looks pretty flush. We might be okay. We might be okay with the O-ring. Let's try the build and see, and if we need to come back to it, we can fix that at the end. Yeah, because you flip the spacebar around, it should work just fine, which is why it surprised me that it affects with the backspace as well. So we'll have a look at it. Okay. Normally the issue is that it's the side of the stabilizer where the wire is, which means you have to have part of the stabilizer protrude past the edge of the PCB or past the edge of the plane where the O-ring would sit for an O-ring mount, which interferes and then causes problems with the O-ring fitting correctly and mounting into the case. Here, it really shouldn't be an issue, but we'll see. What do I think about the owl stab shims? If you mean the little black rubber bits that sit under the wires, I think they're quite good. If you mean the PCB shims designed for 1.2mm PCBs, take them with 1.6, haven't really used them. If you mean the Band-Aid style shims, which are these here, I usually kind of like them, but I'm not going to use them in this PCB because they're quite tight in this PCB of these stabilizers. So there we go. My thoughts in a nutshell. Okay, time to get some switches and plate in the build. Yeah, so I'll show the guys what you're trying to explain there, Justin, when we get the plate and the PCB together. But let's get some switches in first. Ooh, the plate is very tight around some of these stabilizer housings. Let's see if we can get it fitted nicely. There we go. Here we go. I believe you did warn me about this, Justin, so I'm sorry if I forgot about it. There we go. So just making sure the plate sits nicely around these stabilizers because it's a little bit tight on them. There we go. That's all nice and neatly in place. Let's get some switches in. We are using lube Lavenders today. These have been lubed with Krytox 205 grade 0. What's this board retailing for? I think this particular round, which was the prototype round effectively, were around $600 each. I think there's going to be some changes for the production run, and Justin's targeting somewhere in the $400 to $500 range. Thank you, Pork Sausage Thief, and have a good night. Speak to you again soon. Having a slight issue getting the switches to sit fully flush here. Perhaps we need to take that apart again. Looks like we've managed to manhandle it into place. Is there an update on mine and Gion's endeavours? Not at the minute, no. I think he's wanting to get through the recent group buy issues he's had. I saw he put out an announcement on that the other day, so I think we'll have a chat to him at some point in the near future. Okay, that's all nice and neatly aligned. We're just working through the outsides of the plate here, and we'll just work our way around the board. Just try and make sure everything's nice and neat and crisp. Now I have to remember that this is a wing keyless board, so we don't need a switch in the wing keyless position. We do need a switch in the spacebar position though. There we go. Any switch recommendations for really stuffed top mount LU? If I was going to build something like that, I'd probably go with like a clicky or something for something super stiff. Spacebar, let's build one. Let's go for stepped caps because stepped caps is best. Okay, almost there now with the outside switches. So in terms of the O-ring, just to point out, it does sit basically in this groove all the way around between the plate and the PCB. And the reason why the stabilizer is sometimes an issue is because it's got nowhere to go around the stabilizers here. So the stabilizer will push it out because the stabilizer is so close. Now here around the spacebar, it shouldn't be an issue, as just mentioned. Around the backspace, which is here, he has mentioned it might be an issue. So we'll see how we get around that. If it's an issue, then we might just move to split backspace, which I don't usually do, but if it is an issue, we can do that. So we'll just put in the rest of the switches, and then we'll test the O-ring on the PCB plate assembly before we solder, and we'll see how that sits. The New Zealand clickies do look really interesting, but they're a little bit more expensive than I was hoping they'd be, so I haven't picked any up as yet, but I probably will pick up some at some point. Slightly bent pin there. Coffee's gone a bit cold. Let's have a cold drink instead. Yeah, keycap's going to be chat's choice today as well, so get ready for that, guys. Yeah, my personal pick at the minute is owl stabs. Stabies are okay. I think I want to see round 2 before I'd recommend them. The TX stabs are okay. They're fine. I just think the wires are better in owl stabilizers. So yeah, I'd pick those. OG die subs. Do you know I don't think I have any OG die subs in because I don't have any ANSI OG die subs to hand. OG cherry pom blanks. I do have some black ones, but not for this build. I only have them in ISO layout, so I don't have any OG cherry pom ANSI keycaps. Apologies for that. Okay. A bent stab wire is the root of all rattle. No, I don't think so, but they are a big cause of it. Under and over lubing can also be an issue with rattling stabs. Bent wires can be an issue with it. Sometimes they can be. I've seen people have issues with stab wires and the with stabilizers, and the stabilizers haven't been screwed in correctly. I've seen that quite a lot. And sometimes you just it's the wire hitting the PCB. Sometimes it's also sometimes it's the way the keycap sits on the stabilizer. It really depends. Oh yeah, I've got my Pandora build coming some point soon. Coop said he was going to do something special for mine. I don't know what that means, but apparently he's going to do something special for it. But yeah, I think personally I prefer Lavenders, but alpacas are really good switches as well. So I think it really depends on personal preference. I just like Lavenders as a whole. Lavenders and Gateron X's are my two favourite switches right now. Lavender in linears, I think. Okay, so there we go. That's all of the switches in place. The ones in the center, the Lavenders hold really nicely into this PCB. They're really nice and tight. I'm just going to check for bent pins. Then we'll check the O-ring on here and see how it sits around the backspace. If there is an issue, we'll take it out and we'll just use we'll use split backspace. Let's see how it goes. So I'm just going through each switch now, checking for bent pins. I found one on the escape key, so we'll switch that switch out in a second. Just checking all of the others visually first. Making sure each switch has got 2 pins protruding through. Making sure each switch is protruding through the correct amount as well. Okay, so we do have a bent pin on backspace. Let's get that switch exchanged. Oh no, that's tight in there. There we go. Did you get an Alu Pandora? So I don't know is my honest answer to that. Coob said that he was going to do something special for a Pandora 60 for me. I don't know what that means. Right, let's get the O-ring and see how it goes. Yeah, so it was the escape switch that had the issue with a bent pin. So what we're going to do now is we're going to flip this over. And basically we're just going to stretch the O-ring around the PCB. And what we're going to do is just going to see how it interferes with this backspace in a second. So if there's any issues here, we'll see it. We might have to, before we solder, we might have to just check that the switches are fully plumbed in. But we'll see in a second how that goes. And we're just stretching this around. There we go. So it looks like it is going to have an impact. Let's see if we can set this in the case. So this should sit nice and flush. And if it doesn't, we have an issue. Yeah, so I think we have the issue here on the backspace. Let's just try popping the top case on. Yeah, so the case won't close. Okay, rather than struggle with it, let's just take that stabilizer out. Just going to pop the O-ring off. Always worth a test. Thank you, Justin, for the heads up. And then what we're going to do is we're going to remove this stabilizer. Hey, Paddy Track, good to see you, man. Jay, do you have plans to start offering other materials for the custom plate service? Yeah, it depends on what I can laser cut safely. So some things you can't laser cut. So yes, we are going to run a group buy for carbon fiber plates again at some point soon. I don't know exactly when that will be, but that is something that's going to happen. Okay, now the real question is, how many switches do we need to take out to get this stabilizer out of position? Let's see. Oops. It's certainly tight in there. Well, that was so tight in there, it flew halfway across the room. Okay. These switches are just super tight in this plate. Okay, I think we should be able to remove this now. Let's take out a couple more switches. Whoops. Man, this plate's tight. There we go. Okay. So I know we're going to do a little bit of manhandling here, but basically what we're just trying to do is just trying to remove enough switches that we can take this PCB, well, take the stab out of the PCB without damaging anything else. And that should allow us now to remove that. There we go. Then we can pop everything back in place. Make sure we push all these switches back in. Get them in correctly. There we go. And then we can put the missing switches back in as well. Just checking everything in nice and neatly. There we go. Pop these switches back in here. And we'll go with split backspace. I think we might have dropped a couple of switches on the floor. But we've got plenty of spares. I'd prefer to have tighter stabs cutouts than loose stab cutouts. It was one of my big criticisms of the mode, actually, was the stab cutouts. There we go. Okay, there we go. Everything's now nice and neat and even all the way around the board. It's time to crack on with soldering. And this is the point of the stream, guys, where you guys can ask me anything you would like. Any question is good. You can ask anything you would like about any topic you would like, all whilst I'm soldering. So you can ask me about keyboards, you can ask me about life, you can ask me about cars, we can talk about prototypist as a business, you can talk about anything at all whilst I'm soldering. All you need to do is tag me with at Jae Prototypist. I'm going to say at top back then. And you can ask any questions that you'd like at all. As long as it's stream safe, we'll be good. Okay. Okay, first question comes from Vintage Kish. How did I meet my wife? A mutual night out. So we were actually on a night out in Leeds. And I knew some of her housemates from uni. Well, I actually knew one of her housemates' boyfriends from uni. And we met that way. And it was pretty much love at first sight. And we've been inseparable ever since. That was nearly 10 years ago now. Got married in 2018. We actually ran away to Gretna Green and got married in Gretna Green. But yeah, 2013 when we met. Hot Lemon Tea says thoughts on the Gion F2 situation. I think Gion's doing a blinder, right? The response he's come back with in terms of how he's going to fix it, that's amazing service. Like, that's super cool service. I think he's playing it very well. It's a shame the issue happened, but how he's fixing it and how he's handling it, fair play to him. Really, fair play to him. How do you become so financially stable? Same way as everyone, I guess. I've worked hard, and I mean, that's about it. I had a good job. I earned decent money. I invested semi-wisely, I think. So yeah, I think that's the answer. No real secret. I had a small inheritance, but I only got that in, well, not quite a year ago. But after my mum died, but it wasn't a huge amount of money. It was like less than a year's salary. So yeah, I don't know. I guess it's a hard question to answer because like I've just worked and all my money's come from working. It's as simple as that. Do you find anything surprising when you were rearranging the workshop? Yeah, I found some things I didn't know I had. I found an old Pentium PC, Core 2 Duo. No idea where that came from, but it was in the workshop. I found a load of stuff I've forgotten that I had, such as a load of like old panels and things like that. That just randomly turned up. And yeah, just loads of really weird random stuff. Like I found, of all things, I found an old spice rack. No idea why that was at the workshop, but it was. A load of old shelving that I didn't know we had. I found my gym weights because I used to work out when I was up here, and then I ran out of time to do it. Like when we first started, I used to have a few hours a day where I'd work out in the workshop. because we had like nothing here. But that soon passed, and I found those tucked away. TS100 is the soldering iron future bound. What do I think of the Haas F1's team ability to copy and paste a library? Well done to them for being so bold to run the same 2 years running, right? No, I think Haas are okay. Like they're not a bad team. They're all right. I don't know. It's fine. Have you ever considered moving away from the UK? Yeah, we did nearly take about 5 years ago. I nearly took a job in Canada. I was offered a good position at the Royal Bank of Canada, headed in Toronto. I decided not to take it in the end, but I was offered it as a program manager. They were doing something similar to what I'd done here for a company here in the UK, and they'd seen the work that I'd done, and they offered me a nice position. It was good money. And I chose not to take it mainly because at the time my mum was quite ill, so we didn't know how much longer we had left with her, and we were in the process of planning to get married, so I just didn't go in the end. But yeah, I'm not really considering it in the future. If we did, I have no idea what would happen to Prototypist. We would either take Prototypist with us and do some stuff wherever we went to, or I don't know, or maybe I don't know. Is the only sense. I don't know. I hadn't considered it. Like, I think in a couple of years' time, Prototypist will move. My plan is to build a new house at some point in the next couple of years, and then we'll have enough outbuildings and workshop space there to move Prototypist to that. I think my biggest worry is that I know that keyboards aren't going to last forever, and I know that Prototypist does have a finite length of time in it. I don't know how long that is, but it might be 5 years, might be 10 years. My biggest worry is I don't want to have to go back to a normal day job at some point in the future. I want to find other things to do with myself. So I always want to make sure I've got a workshop space where I can create things, create new products, look into new hobbies, do different things. And that's kind of like my biggest focus right now, is making sure that I have the ability to not have to go back to corporate drudgery at any point in the future. So that's what I'm going to spend the next couple of years working on. What's it like managing a team again after having had a break from management? Interesting, because I don't work in the same way as I used to. So I used to have a lot of people work for me, direct reports, and they had direct reports and so on, teams underneath them.
Incredible.
Wowie, thank you so much for the follow, man. I appreciate that. So that was kind of interesting. And then Prototypist was just me for a long time. Then we expanded to have Mel. May last year, she was working part-time. It's now pretty much full-time. She's now warehouse manager. We also have Sharon, who does the bookwork.
Incredible.
Beanbag GB, thank you so much for the follow as well. Great username. And then we also have some remote staff as well that handle a few things like project management and some design work as well. So it is good to be back working and having a team. I think we'll need to expand again in the future in terms of different roles. I want to look at how we manage projects from beginning to end, and I'm hoping the project manager we have on board now can pick that up. She's really good. But we'll see. Like it's going to be a long time before we do need to expand any further, but we'll see how that goes. I think the next thing we will probably need is more people in the workshop, in the warehouse, feet on ground, but I don't know when that will be. We're not quite at that stage yet, but I see it happening soon. But yeah, it's been interesting. I don't run things in any formal way like I used to do at the bank I used to work at. We don't do formal stand-ups or anything else particularly, but we do have nice check-ins, and it's good to have like people I can rely on again. What was made? Oh, right. Okay. What was it that made you want to start PT? Like, at what point did the hobby become you want to supply? I never started PT to become a supplier. That's not how PT started out. I wanted to help people make things, and I still do. Like, I will offer to pay for people's prototypes of new boards designs that they've come up with, no strings attached. You know, I've had people come to me. I've paid for the prototypes. They've gone and run the group by themselves or with someone else. Like, that's great. I want people to make things. Like that was how Prototypist started out, and then people asked me if I could proxy their set or this or that or the other, and we started supplying those parts as well. That grew with Brexit because of the challenges of getting things from the EU, and I was happy to fill that slot. But this year is going to be a focus on returning to in-stock products and returning to my projects that I want to run as well. So we're going to see some sort of movement in that direction pretty soon, I think. Oh, we've got a bent pin there. I've just soldered one pin in. Whoops. We'll have a look at that in a minute. What watch am I wearing? It's a Breitling. It's the Top Time, the Deus Ex Machina Top Time. It's automatic, and it's a nice watch. Yeah, so good questions, guys. If you've got any more, now's the time to ask them. Questions can be about any topic whatsoever. Open book policy here. Okay, last switch, and then we're going to fix that bent pin. Okay, so let's fix this bent pin. I'm just going to grab the switch from one side because we've sillily soldered one leg in place. And then whilst I pull on the switch, we're going to heat the other pin up, pull it out. We're going to exchange that switch. We're going to line up the next switch to put in. We're going to pop that into position. And then we're going to push it into place as we heat up the pin that we've just covered in solder. And hopefully... go. That's now in place. Going to reflow that one pin. Add a touch more solder, and then solder the other pin. And there we go. We should be good. There we go. Time to test it. Okay, let's catch up on the questions. Why didn't you wrap mail in cling film? Perhaps we should have done. Like, we wrapped a lot of stuff in cling film. Maybe we should have done. Do you know how to burger mount the Tomo? Yeah, so you just put like for the Tomo you can put O-rings on either side of the screw that supports the plate into the top case, and then you'll be able to burger mount it. Simple as that. You just need to buy the right size O-rings. Do I like the smell of solder? I don't dislike it. If there is any hobby that is currently intriguing you that might be a good place for the average keyboard hobbyist to look into. I'm not sure what you mean, Fluffy Keeps. Rephrase the question, please. When did the Instagram story vlog start? Always super interesting to see the inner workings and day-to-day prototypers. Okay, so this is a really interesting story. There was another maker who used to be a friend of mine, and he kept telling everyone when I started Prototypist that this place wasn't real. Like, Prototypist was working out of my spare bedroom, and I was making it sound larger and grander than it was. And I started to do the vlog as a bit of a joke, to be honest, like to say, look, here is Prototypist, here's the workshop, this is what we have, this is what we do. And that kind of all blew over, and it was a non-issue in the end. But what the uplift of that was, I found this process of explaining what I'm going to do every morning really cathartic. So back in the old days when I used to have a day job, we used to do daily stand-ups, we used to have whiteboards, and we'd mark out what the daily plan were and give each other Jira tickets and all that kind of stuff. And I kind of didn't have that anymore, and we didn't have any structure. So what the Insta stories became was my kind of cathartic release into what is my to-do list for today. And I just walk around the workshop and say, I'm going to do this and this and this and this, and point at stuff. And that's then what I did for the day, unless I ran out of time. And over time, they kind of evolved to become this kind of whole Insta story thing where I share like 20 minutes every day. But it's basically just me, I don't plan what I'm going to say. I don't retake anything. There's no reshoots or anything like that. Whatever I say, it's just coming out of my mouth. It's straight live, and it's unedited, it's unfiltered. It's literally what I'm thinking at that particular time. That is what I'm doing for the day. That is my task list. And at the same time, it offers transparency for what Prototypist is and what we do. So people can see why their package hasn't shipped. They can check on Insta. Oh, look, they've had so many packages today. That's why mine hasn't shipped. I can see that they're catching up. Or what are they making on the laser today? What does their plate making process look like? How do they make plates when they offer the service? And all of that kind of stuff. And it just becomes a way I can share openly what's happening with PT and just share it with you guys, because I want this like PT to me is still like a community thing. It's not like a personal thing, or it's not like, I don't see it as a like some corporate entity. I see it as like a community driven store, and like we're driven by what you guys want effectively. So being able to share all that back is like the kind of idea behind the Insta stories now. About pointing to things. Yeah, pretty much. Fluffy Keeps rephrase. If keyboard as a hobby starts winding down, is there any hobby you have your eye on that you might focus on? Yeah, I'd probably move into restoring classic cars. That's probably going to be where I go. I have 10 or 11 classic cars in my collection. I've restored a couple of them. I've got more that I'm going to restore this year. I think that's probably where I'd end up going to. Redo. I love the Insta story so much. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. Came here to relax and watch keyboards, and now I'm dreading Taurus stand-ups and jury tickets. Sorry, I don't work in that environment anymore. I'm really lucky to not have to work in that environment anymore. So yeah, you really look forward to my Insta stories. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Okay, so we now have the PCB built. Let's test this and make sure it's still working, and that everything is Gucci from that perspective. So we're going to plug in the JST cable. We're going to plug in the keyboard, and then we'll load up VIA, and we'll see if everything's working correctly. You heard the noise, it's connected. Let's get VIA opened. Okay, let me see if I can share VIA with you. There we go, you should be able to see VIA. We are using the J60 Rev 1. Let's move over to the key tester and test the matrix. And that should be the matrix we have selected. Remember, this is a wing keyless, so we might be missing the wing keyless keys. Okay, so we have got split backspace on. Let's just configure that to split backspace. Split backspace. Bottom row 7U. There we go. That's correct. Okay. Let's try that again. Key. There we go. There we go. All working on that row. Looking good so far. Caps lock's working. Everything's looking good on that row. Okay, onto the shift row now. All looking good there. Wing keyless row. All looking good. So the PCB is fully working, and we're good to go. There we go. Next job now is to bob everything in the case. So we're going to unplug the JST cable one more time. We are going to screw the JST cable and daughter board into the bottom case first before we do anything else. So we're going to grab our little bag of screws. I really like that you guys like the Insta stories. That means a lot to me, because like they are just, I don't know, like a lot of people don't take them very seriously, so it is just a little bit of fun more than anything. I'm going to assume it's these small black screws that are used for this, so let's get those to one side. Okay, a Phillips head, nice. Okay, let's bob a screw in the back corner. Take a small Phillips screwdriver, and then we're going to screw that first one in place. There we go. Insta stories are fabulous. Thanks, guys. I'm glad you enjoy them. I genuinely find them super cathartic, so I'm happy. It makes me happy that you guys enjoy them as well. Like, we do get a few thousand people watch them every single day. It's like 3,000 or 4,000 people watch them every day, so... Cable should tuck in nicely here. There we go. It's going to sit just nicely like so. Maybe we just need to just push the cable in a little bit further. There we go. That's going to sit just nicely there now. I'm going to push the cable down just to hold it in place a little bit. Just like so. There we go. Then we're going to take our O-ring and we're going to stretch this around the PCB and plate assembly. Let's tidy up a little bit actually. There we go. I'm just going to literally just stretch and press this into place around the PCB and plate assembly. Whoops. Well, we will do it if we don't slip and let go of it. There we go. It's all now in place. And we're going to bob the JST connector into the back of the PCB. We would do it if it would go in. Come on, line up. There we go. Gonna make sure the cable sits nicely into that gap that's cut out for it. Just gonna push the assembly into place. That's all sitting nice and flush and even in there. Pressure fit only. Time to get the top case on. And then we can screw this together. You wish there was an archive of the Insta stories? I do have them all still. I don't ever delete them. Like all of the Insta stories still exist. They're all still out there. I'm gonna go diametrically opposed to just screw these screws in. Just make sure we get the case nice and locked down tight. Perhaps I should just do like a Google Drive and just upload them all there. Hey Jay, got the kit to learn soldering. I can't pronounce that word. Started over the weekend, going great. One thing though, so after some soldering, desoldering, the PCB got dirty, so it's cotton swab with isopropyl alcohol. The best way to clean it. Yeah, that sounds like a great way to clean it. YouTube history of PT made of the stories. Like, yeah, like just do like a week for a video. We could do something like that. It's finding the time and to curate them all and do all that kind of stuff. It'd look horrible if I saved all of them. I rarely use the highlights to save anything just in, so I very rarely use it. Yeah, I don't want to put everything on the profile though, Hugo. It just looked messy. And I kind of like the fact that they're gone, because oftentimes I don't get through everything I say I'm going to do in a day. And I don't want people coming back and saying, oh, you said you'd do this and you haven't. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, people hold me accountable for stuff just because I've half mentioned that I'm going to do it, not because I said that I 100% would do it. So I don't want to encourage that. Like, I can sometimes say, I might do this. Oh, you didn't do it. Why didn't you do it? You should have done it. You said you were
Incredible.
Incredible. Thank you, Boza, for the follow. I appreciate that, man. Yeah. I want life to be easy. I don't want it to be difficult. So I've started trying to take Wednesdays off. It didn't happen last week and it's not going to happen this week, but hopefully going forward we'll be able to start taking Wednesdays off a lot more frequently. Okay, put that stabilizer in there as well. Okay. And we are pretty much tied it up. And there is the board all put together. If I don't throw my screwdrivers away.
Incredible.
Thank you, NH and Rook. Thank you very much for the follow, man. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for the Prime subscription, Chat Cattle. I'm not sure why it hasn't announced it, but here we go. Look how cool it is.
Tasty, tasty.
There it is. Tasty, tasty. Thank you so much for the subscription. How good does this look? Look how nice that looks. What keycaps tonight? Well, Truman, if you want to, Mr. Omar, if you want to get a poll ready, I will show you guys what the keycaps for today's choice are. There's quite a few different ones. It's getting really warm in here. Can you see how rosy my cheeks are? Let me turn the heating off. It's very, very warm in here. Rosy cheeks, Jay, yeah. So, today we have a few different keycaps. The first one I have isn't GMK, it's DSS Sensillo. So this is the first option. I just figured that this might look quite nice. DSS Sensillo. We do have a couple of the accent keys. That's option 1, DSS Sensillo. We have GMK Shoko. Focus please, camera. GMK Shoko. That's round 1. Round 2 goes in stock tomorrow as GMK extras. We also have GMK Cafe, which I thought might sit nicely on this. We also have the set we used last week on stream, GMK Retro Arabic, just because I figured an OG coloured set would look quite nice on this. That does have Arabic letters on there. Arabic characters on some of the letters. And then there's a bit of a wild card. I picked GMK Taro to see if you guys would go with anything funky today. So we do have GMK Taro as well. I think all of these will look nice on the board, and it's up to you which guys we pick. Why make it so tough on us? Nice. Yeah, Cafe with Champagne would look great. I think they'll all look fantastic. We haven't had anything other than GMK for a long time, so I figured I'd put DSS Sensillo in there in the mix. The poll's up. Omar has got that running. Take a go, have a guess, see what you'd like to vote on. I'm going to chuck a vote in there. And we'll see what wins. Perestroika is a set for this. I do have Perestroika, but I can't get to it. Like, the office is a real mess at the minute. I can't get to all of my keycap sets, but I could get to the ones above. DCS Nightfall was the last one that wasn't GMK. Maybe. Has to be Arabic or Cafe. Maybe. I think Taro. Incredible. Thank you so much, Mikagi, for the follow. I appreciate that. I think Taro is underrated for this because it looks so nice with those switches. Look how good this board looks, though. Look how nice that is. This could be my 60% of the year, I think. Like, there's a small chance that this is going to be my 60% of the year. Shoko is nice. Going to try my best tomorrow evening. I'm hoping that it doesn't sell out immediately. Like, I'm hoping that Shoko will be in stock for a week or so. That's my hope. Yeah, right, because you can see the switches the caps on. Hey, man. Like, that's like saying that matching underwear isn't a good thing. Because you can't see it with clothes on. It's not true. It's not true. I want DSS because it's different. Yeah, we haven't used DSS for a long time. The last time we used DSS on the stream was DSS Dolch when we built, when we rebuilt my Noxury 268 AG on Top Clack, which was probably 18 months ago now. Any tips on avoiding import taxes? No, pay all your taxes, man. I have to pay taxes. I have to pay import taxes on all of the stock I import. So if I have to pay taxes, you should pay your taxes as well. Don't try and avoid them. Someone will always catch you with it, so the best thing to do is be expecting to pay your taxes and pay them. It's the best way. Immediate selling out combo. Like, I don't know, like, there's quite a lot of extras, like more extras for GMK Shoko than we've had for other GMK sets in the past. I hope that it lasts about a week and doesn't sell out straight away. Like, to me, if I've got the number of extras right, it doesn't sell out immediately. It takes a week to sell out. That's the right number of extras, okay? I'm hoping that's where we are with GMK Shoko. I'm hoping. People are rigging. I don't think so. Looks like Cafe's going to win. Looks like Cafe's going to win. There's not much longer left. So let's see. It doesn't have an insane number compared to other group buys across all of the vendors. Like, I can't give real numbers because it would be unfair to other vendors, but it's no more unusual. Tanisha, hey man, I'm good, thank you. Hope you're doing well. Shoko will sell out in an hour. I don't think it will, but we'll see. I'm always wrong on this. I always say it's not going to sell out. It's going to stay in stock for ages, and then it always does sell out, but I'm hoping that this time it won't. I'm hoping this time I've got it right. Like, to me, if I get the numbers right, something should stay in stock for a week. Like the Cannon Cap sets that we've got going live tomorrow as well, I'm hoping they're not going to be like the Noel set that just sold out immediately. I'm hoping they're going to stay in stock for a little bit. Do I still find DSS too rough? A little bit, but I feel like I should be embracing other profiles than just GMK all the time, right? Standard Sunday stream. Yeah, we always stream on a Sunday. Oh, you meant the matching underwear comment, right? Okay, well, it was a comment about switches. You can't see them, but it's still a thing, right? Do you have the new Canon keys? Would you say? Yes. To be live soon. I can't tell you when, because I don't know when. But as soon as I can put it live, I will be. Ever consider doing region locking for the first minute or two during big drops? We always do. Usually the first 60 seconds, it's always just UK or UK and Europe, and then it goes worldwide after. The issue is I can't block against VPN, so some people do order through a VPN, and I can't block that. There's nothing I can do about that, sadly. Whenever you say I think it will last for X, it always sells out in 1/10 of X at least. Oh, I'm hoping, right. I think, okay. Let's put a note down to have this as a recap on next week's stream. I think that when GMK Shoko goes in stock tomorrow at 7 p.m. UK time, it will still be in stock when I'm streaming this time next week. Like that's my hope. I think it will still be in stock. I might not have much left in stock, but I think there will still be a small number in stock like this time I'm streaming next week. Let's see how right or wrong I am. Okay? If I tell you what, here's the bet. Here's the bet. Right, here's the bet, and you can congratulate or blame Adam for that. I will keep one set of GMK Shoko to one side. Okay, if I'm right and we still have GMK Shoko in stock at this time next week when I'm streaming, after it goes in stock tomorrow at 7 p.m, I will give that one set of GMK Shoko away next week on stream. If I'm wrong and it's sold out, then JQ has to buy it off me. How about that? Sorry, Adam. Sorry, not JQ. Adam64 has to buy it off me. How about that? Someone clip it. Yeah, someone clip that. Someone clip that. I will bet it with Adam. I will give it away free to the community if I'm wrong. If I'm right, Adam has to buy it. Adam, are you going to take this on? See, Adam's gone silent now because he knows that he doesn't want to take this on. Yeah, sorry, JQ. I got you confused for a second. Yeah, wasn't you? Yeah. So if I'm right and it's still in stock next time on the stream, you have to buy the set that I have left to one side. If I'm wrong, I'll give that set away for free. I'll pay for it personally, and I'll give it away on stream. How about that? You'll buy a set if it's still in stock in a week's time. Cool. Cool. The one I have doesn't count as it being in stock. Like, I'll be clear on that, because otherwise that would be really unfair of me. But the one I have to one side won't count as in stock. And if I'm wrong, I will give it away on the stream. We'll do a giveaway on stream. We'll play marbles for it, and we'll give it away on stream next week. If you're right, you have to buy that particular set. And Mel will draw something on it that she tried to draw in my coffee in the week. But you have to buy it. Shoko's really nice. Shoko's lovely. It's one of my favourite sets. It's really, really nice. Fluffy got the reference of what Mel drew, I think. Right, okay. So you guys picked Cafe, I think. So let me get GMK Cafe. Let me flip over. Right, let's get GMK Cafe. Let's zoom in and let's get GMK Cafe on this. There we go. No, if I'm wrong, I have to buy it. Yeah, if I'm wrong, I'd give it away. If you're wrong, you have to buy it. If it's still in stock, you have to buy it. If it's sold out, I have to give it away. Is that 7U? No. Mel has a keycap set when? I think Mel is designing a keycap set, actually. Oh, we don't have full back place. Let's get the keycaps out. If everyone could buy, please, the live GMK Shoko extras, much appreciated. Nice. I see what you're doing. Let's go with accents on this. I don't usually build with accents. I usually let chat decide, but I think the accents are going to look quite nice on this. So I'm just going to take... I'm just going to do it. As simple as that. Okay. GMK mezzanine. GMK the Mez. Yeah, we could do GMK the Mez. Why not, right? When in Rome. GMK the Mez. I know you're all going to tell me you don't like that and you want to see the alpha coloured one, but it's tough. This is how we're building it today. I don't build ANSI very often, so when I do, I'm picking it. Novelties related to broken backs. Oh man, like the amount of stuff that we've had to carry up those stairs is unreal. Like it's absolutely insane. Will we get a list of in-stock items before they go live? Yeah, I'm going to try and put an in-stock version, a list of stuff that's going in stock on Discord tomorrow morning. Don't quote me on that because it might be closer to the afternoon, but I will put a list up before it goes live. At least, I'll make sure you got at least an hour. Right, shift is upside down. Oh yeah, it's not upside down. It's not the shift key. That's why. That's the spare caps lock key. That's the right key. Just try and get the rest of the modifiers in place. I do wish this set had Alt GR. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Oh, I need to try and... Has this got any 1U novelties in it? I can't remember. Does it have any 1U novelties in it? I can't recall. A row 1U novelty is what I want. Oh, spare tab. That's cool. I like it when sets have spare tabs in. Come on, have a coffee bean for row 1, why don't you? Come on, you've got to have a coffee bean for row 1. Does it really not have a coffee bean for row 1? Does it really not? I could have sworn it had that. Why can I not find this key? Does it just not exist? Coffee bean when? Oh man, how does it not have a row 1 coffee bean key? Okay. Let's just start putting it in 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. GMK Vintage Rainbow when? Well, there is some more happening in GMK Midnight Rainbow range. Basically, we're going to have Daylight Rainbow running at some point soon. I can't believe we don't have a 1U novelty with some coffee beans on here. That's kind of disappointing. Novelty just forklifts and shelving. Yeah, we could do that. I want a novelty of Jay pointing at things. That and coffee art. Yeah. I'm such a Handabite hater, and I'd have got Handabage. So sad. Handabage is good. Oh man, that's so flexible in the middle. That's the wrong control key. Why don't I try to put that in? Maybe we will use a novelty for like the alt keys or something. I don't know. I just thought there was a 1U row 1. Wow, I thought there was a key we could have used up here, but there isn't. Going for scoops today, not bars. Justin says, I've only heard and seen the hard plate built with MX Black, so this will be a treat. I hope it sounds good. I hope it sounds really good. I've not said as much thinking about my crush as I have thinking about this board. Nice. Do I recommend filming Gator on Ink 3.2? I don't think they need it, but you couldn't go wrong by doing it, right? Okay, almost there now. Oh, I wonder why I'd got the B here in my hand. It's because there's two B's in the base kit. That's why. Okay, almost there now. Good. Right. I'm really sad that they don't have a bean one new key. Why is that not row 1? Like, that would be so cool as row 1. I could use it up there then, but it's not. Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to put the coffee beans down there. Just have the one novelty for the coffee beans and leave it at that. And then I'm going to do something controversial for the top 2. I'm just going to pop that in and that in. I don't care if you don't like it. It's my board. I'm going to have the keys I want in there. Do you know, I'm going to take an executive decision as well. I'm going to change the escape key if I can get the keycap off, just for the. Okay, I don't have a keycap puller. Can we use a switch puller? Is that going to work? Come on. There we go. Don't try this at home, kids. There we go. That's much better. More happy with that. Isn't that coffee bean? Sorry, I thought. Yeah, there just isn't a row 1 one. Like, there was quite a few of them, but non row 1. But here we go, guys. Here is the board. This is the Derivative 60 from Justin at JJWKB with GMK Cafe and Lavender switches. Owl stabs. How good does that look? It looks so nice. Look at that. I am super happy with this board. Look at that. It's so clean, right? It's lovely. Love that cherry lip. Yeah, I like it too. This cherry lip is so nice. Hugo, what have you done? What have I done? What have I done? What don't you like, Hugo? What don't you like? What don't you like? Why isn't the right key alt key angry? There isn't an alt GR in this set, or at least I don't have one. Not both black. It's dark brown. It's not black. It's dark brown. It looks fine. It looks fine. I kind of did that because I knew it would trigger some people. I knew it would trigger some people. Can I show off the butt of the keyboard? Yeah, sure. There you go. Please delete key white. No. Where is the resin, Jay? Do I have anything to hand that would look good on here? This is all I have to hand. I think the this might look quite nice on the board. That might work quite well. Indeed, it does trigger me. Hey man, I'm sorry. Not sorry. Let's see if we can get this off without damaging the board. There we go. How does that look? How does that look? I'm pretty happy with that. Close in on the Kipura for you. Bonus props if anyone can name that Kipura. If anyone can name which one it is. Nice mathematical touch there on the back of it. Yeah, how cool is that, right? Check it out. I've got some dirt on it. There we go. Oh, more dirt. There we go. No, the delete key says it is. It is the Parliament one. Yeah, good call. Good spot. I do have the cafe one, just not here. So, yeah, like I have a few to hand, but the cafe one is in the rest of my collection. So yeah. But there we go. That's the board. Should we see how it sounds? Justin's like quite possibly. I'm gonna go all schoolgirl here, but I think that right now, Justin is quite possibly my favorite designer in the community. Like the stuff that he's doing. Big fan. Big fan. Okay. Let's see how the board sounds. Let me pause the music for a second. And let's see how this sounds. Bring the mic in close for you. Wow. Wow. That sounds so good. Like, that just sounds so good. Not only does it look great, it sounds good too. That's so good. Super happy. Yeah, Bion's designs are really cool as well, Stosness. I'm really excited for my bias. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the bias coming. But like this sounds so good. So good. I'm pretty happy with that. Hugo, I know I'm triggering you. I saw an alpha colored tilde, but Jay-Z, but yeah, I'm just like trying to wind people up because I don't use ANSI very often. So like, why not wind people up a little bit? But I'm super happy with this board. Like, this is so nice. Like, this front lip, look how nice this front lip is. Look at that. It just looks so good. Especially in this color as well. Super duper happy with that. Wow. Justin, thank you very much, man. I really appreciate you letting me pick one of these up. So thank you so much, man. Thank you. If you guys have got any last questions you want to ask before we end the stream, now's the time. Get your questions in. And I'll try and answer them. But yeah, please put delete in my... I kind of did it just to wind people up more than anything. I'm probably not going to keep this set on here. I think I'm going to move over to an OG keycap set. But yeah, I think I might have some OG ANSI double shots somewhere that'll probably put on this. But yeah, this is super cool. Like, I'm super happy with this. It's quite flexible as well. Like, it's going to be difficult to show you this, but there's quite a little bit of flex to the board as well. Can you guys see that? It's really nice and bouncy to type on, but not overly so. Like, it's just nice. It's comfortable. I had a bad habit of resting my non-space bar thumb on the front of the keyboard, and it wears through the nose slowly, so I've had to force things in prep for Cloudline. Nice. Where can you get this board? You basically can't at the minute, but I think Justin, JJWKB, is going to be running a group buy for it very soon. Maybe later on this year, so keep a lookout for that. But yeah, thank you very much for everyone for being here. If you've got any last questions, now's the time to ask them. I'm going to be back on Instagram tomorrow. Check out the stories because we're going to be doing a lot of work in the workshop. We should get the cars finally underneath the mezzanine. We should get everything sorted. Mel start getting the packages out. Yeah, it's going to be a good day. I can't wait to share the Insta stories with you guys and make sure that we get everything sorted. But thank you very much for being here with me tonight, guys. I thoroughly appreciate it. Thank you for all the follows, the subs, everything else. I'll see you again super duper soon. Thank you very much for being here. Good night, guys. Bye-bye. Love you, Gio. Sorry about that, but I gotta go.